So in last class, we have seen about an insertion. We are seeing about an arrays. In an arrays, at first we have seen the operation of traversal. Traversal is nothing but visiting all the data in an array. And then we have seen about an insertion. Insertion, in this, we have seen three scenarios. Insertion begin, and then end, and then your any position. So now here, what is the best case and worst case for the corresponding insertion itself? Okay, so for example, if it's in a beginning, okay, if it's at the beginning of an array, then what do? I have to switch the data of every data by one percent. If there are n data are there, then I have to switch all the data by one percent. So that takes a time of theta of n or order of n. Suppose if I'm going to insert a data at the end, simple. Straight away I can go to the last portion, I can insert a data over there. Then there it's an order of 1. Okay, the best case is if we insert at the last. The worst case is if we insert at begin. Okay, if we insert at the beginning of your array, then I have to switch all the data by one portion. At last, I will insert a data at the beginning. So it requires n switching, n shifting. Okay, that's an worst case. In best case, the last portion can be inserted. So likewise, now we will see for an deletion. So as usual, we will create an array. We will and create an array. So already we have created. So then already we have an and data. Already we have a data. Okay, fine. So suppose if I want to delete the data at position 1. Position 1. So position 1 is, this is the first position. This is the first position. I want to delete this data. So now here, what I will do? As usual, I will check for whether the position is within the range or not. Already in the insertion itself, we have seen whether the given position is within the given range or not. Here the position is less than 0, or if my position is more than size plus 1, it is in the invalid position. If within the range, then that's the valid position. So we'll get the position from the user. So position as a 1. Position as a 1. So now generally, if you're going to delete the data over there, then what do? At first, I will switch this data and then I'll put it over here. I will put it over here. I want to delete the data of first position data. So now I will switch by one. A of 1 data comes to the A of 0, and A of 2 data comes to the A of 1, and A of 3 data comes to the A of 2, and A of 4 data becomes A of 3. And then I'll decrement the size. I'll decrement the size. That's the logic. That's the logic we are going to do it. So 4, then shifting of data is happening by one position. I have shifted the data by one position since I want to delete the data at the position 1. So this is the logic we are going to apply in the deletion at specific position. So whichever position they are going to ask for, we will shift it by one position. Okay. So now for this logic, we will write the coding. So as usual, we will get the corresponding where they want to delete the data. So we'll get the position from the user. So we are doing for deletion at specific position. So already we have created, normally we have created an array. So all the array is created. So now we are going to delete the data. So we have got the position from the user. Where do you want to delete the data? So position, we have got it. So once we got the position, then I should check for whether the position is valid or not. Okay, so already we know that in the insertion itself, we have seen the scenario that whether the position is valid or not. So if my position is within the 0 to size minus 1, then that's an valid position. If it's not, it's an invalid position. So already we have known this. Okay, so then we will use an for loop. When the position is valid, then we will use an for loop. So as usual, for I is equal to, okay, so here the position which we got from the user is 1. So 1 means this is a position, right? So it will start from I is equal to 0 onwards. Okay, so I is equal to position minus 1, and then it should not go beyond size minus 1. Okay, I just keep on shifting by one, right? So I should shift maximum of a of 3 to a of 2, or a of 4 to a of 3. So I should be within the maximum range of I is lesser than the size minus 1, and then I'll be keep on incrementing. So a of I will be assigned with a of I plus 1. So now what happens over here? The position which we got from the user is 1. Position which we got from the user is 1. So now here in the first case, what happens over here? Position is 1, and size we have the size value is 5. Size is 5. The size is 5 now here. Size is 5. So I is position is 1. So I is equal to 0. And then so I is 0 is lesser than the 4. Okay, now here what happens over here? So I is 0. In place of a of 0, I will store the value of a of 1. So now what happens over here? In the place of a of 0, I will store the value of a of 1. I will store the value of a of 1. Then I'll increment the I. So I becomes 1. So 1 is lesser than the 4. So now a of 1 is equal to a of 2. A of 1 is equal to a of I plus 1. A of 2. So now what happens over here? A of 2 is assigned to the a of 1, and then increments the I. So then once increments I, the I becomes 2. Okay, that 2 is corresponding lesser than the size minus 1, 4. So once again, a of I is equal to a of I plus 1. So we will keep on switching the data, shifting the data. So once we have done this until size minus 1, then what do I do? I will decrement the size, because I have deleted one data over in an array. So size will be gets decremented by 1%. So the size of an array is 4 now. Size of an array is 4 now. So this is how you can delete data at any position in an array. Okay. So now the next case is if I want to delete at begin. If I want to delete at begin, then what change you can do? The same program, the same for loop. What change we can do? In place of position minus 1, simply I will give 0. Simply I will give 0. Because I want to delete the data initially, right? So shifting of data will be happen. So it will start from I is equal to 0 onwards. If we give position -1, then it will go for any position in an array. Okay, since I want delete at begin, okay, then I have given I is equal to 0. Okay, so for deletion at n, simple, decrements the size by 1. That's it. For deletion at n, decrements the size by 1. Size minus minus. That's it. Deletion at end is over. Okay. So this is the operation of deletion in an array. Okay.